What is up, ninjas? My name is Sam World, and today I wanted to discuss an email that I got from one of you guys. Now, I've received multiple amount of these sort of emails, and I always like to answer them and do the video on video interviews that you guys need to do for your thesis, for the final, for the craft that you're studying, which is music production. Now, the guy in specific that we have is called Matt Jiz, and he's a pianist and producer. I butchered his name. This year, he's going to be writing a thesis on a question that I'm sure many of you guys have, so I thought, why not make a video about it? And that question is, how does a producer find their sound? Now, today I'm going to give you guys my opinion on this matter, and I hope that it resonates with you guys and helps you guys a little bit so that you don't overthink about, oh man, I need to find my own sound. So today I will be giving my opinion on this matter, on how I would approach it and how I feel other people should go about it. If you guys have answers to this question as well, I welcome them in the comments. I want to see what you guys say, how you guys did it, how you approach it, how you plan on approaching it. But this will be my answer to that question. To me, having your own sound means that if I were to listen to your track, I will be able to go like, this sounds like so-and-so, or this sounds like you, due to some cues, due to some sounds that you tend to use a lot in your song, due to the style of the drums, due to the style of the melody, due to the style of the vibe a certain song has. This becomes a little bit more apparent when you start to hear other people's music and you can kind of know what they were going for or what they were influenced by. For instance, if someone goes and starts playing the harmonic minor scale with a electro-melodic house lead, it's gonna sound like Kashmir, and you might find that when you release it or you show it to your friends, they might be like, cool song, but it sounds like Kashmir. The last part puts it down just a little bit. If you go a bit further, there are going to be other producers like Mala who have this signature vocal shot throughout their song used as a transition, which goes There's also certain effects, leads, basses that when you hear them, you kind of resemble them to a certain artist. For instance, if we got the future bass chords, a lot of people say that sounds like Flume. If you have G-house bass lines, it sounds like Mala. If you have certain looper style wubs, it's gonna sound like Looper. So definitely, having your own sound, it means different things. It doesn't mean that you just have a preset. It means that you have a vibe, that you have a certain thing that people can recognize instantly. Is it important to have your own sound as a music producer? The answer to that question is going to be yes if you're selling a product, aka your music. So it is very important that you have your own sound, guys, but this does not mean that you have to create a new genre of music, that you have to create new leads no one has ever heard before. This just means that you just have to do things differently. You have to approach making music, and instead of using the same drums as your favorite artist, the same leads, the same bass lines, mix it up, use different drums, use different leads, use different bass lines. At first, maybe you can copy them, but once your song is done, then start to uniquify it, as I would say, fuckify it. So now that we know what it means to have your own sound and that it's very important, how do you go about in finding your own sound? Well, the answer to that question, guys, is you don't. Your sound finds you. You don't find your sound. The only answer I can give you guys is to keep making music. And the reason for this is that as you make music that you like, that you think sounds good, you're going to find yourself making creative decisions that are repeated throughout all of your songs. You might go for a similar style of drums every single time. You might go for a certain style of lead, basses. It's not all about just having one preset or one lead. That's how you set yourself up for one-hit wonders, as people will eventually get tired of it. But it's going to come down to, again, the creative decisions that you tend to make in your music that no one else does, because again, at the end of the day, everyone's going to have different influences in what kind of music they like and what they think the perfect melody or the perfect song is. However, let's say that you're the type of producer that just can't make something because you think everything you make sounds shit and you always have to sound like somebody. You can still salvage some of that. For instance, let's say the only way you know how to make future bounce that sounds good to your head is to use the same leads and bass lines and drums that Mesto uses. At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're getting a professional outcome from it, but you do have to put in the effort at the end of the process to go back in and switch it up so that it doesn't sound like him. And this could be as simple as just using different drums, using a different lead layer, going through presets for the leads until you find one that just gives the same satisfaction as that lead does, and vice versa, guys. You always have to go in and do that in order to find, again, your own sound. Now the email goes on to ask me if I have found my own sound, and I want to say yes, I have found my own sound for the music that I enjoy making, that I make on my personal time outside of work, outside of making sound banks for you guys. So I'm going to show you guys what I think my sound is, just due to the amount of creative decisions I tend to make from track to track. So for this example, guys, I'm going to be showing you guys a track that is almost done. And this track, I made it around June, so it's about 3 months already. It's been on and off work. But essentially, this is the first song I started in this new series of songs that I have, where I wanted to create something that kind of resembles nature. I love to hike. I love to be in the outdoors. I love to take my kids to the beach, go to the mountains, and just escape everything. So I wanted to make music that resonates with that if I were to listen to it, it would make me feel like I'm up there again. So as making this music, obviously what I wanted to do was create that vibe. I didn't want anything too aggressive. I wanted mellow stuff. So this definitely influenced a lot of the decisions I made in making this song. So we'll start it from the break just so you can kind of get an idea of what it sounds like. Okay, so you kind of get an idea where it goes and what kind of vibes it has. So ideally, I made a couple of more songs, and there's things that repeat in those songs which are in this exact song. The first thing is obviously in the breakdown, I have something which resembles sort of like mountain noise, which I synthesized utilizing a Prophet from Arturia. So one of the things with this sound that I have is that I'm using a lot more of these Arturia synths, as I like more of the mellow analog vibe that it gets. So for this sound in specific, it's literally just white noise. But whenever you're up in a mountain, if you ever hiked up to the peak of a mountain and it's super windy, you're going to recognize that sound. It just has that vibe. So that's the atmosphere I decided to go with. Another thing that dealt with creative decision, which was influenced by nature, was the effects themselves. For instance, here we have essentially water, river, small, fast. So for myself, I decided to just grab essentially this sample. It sounds like someone's pissing in the lake, and reverb the crap out of it, put an EQ on it to kind of resemble more of a downlift, to again sell that vibe that we're out in nature. So a lot of these things are going to be layered with obviously the tradition, but to me, again, that waterfall is what I wanted to kind of have. I do have other sounds like reverse pianos and whatnot. Of course, you know, we got the vocals. It's definitely something I like personally. Maybe some people don't like it, but I personally like to use them as much as I can. If I find a specific vocal I can fit in a song that resembles that. Now, with the lead sound design as well, I found myself that I've been making leads, different vibes, different variations of it, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to utilizing a square and a triangle wave with a filter that's not opening it up all the way. And you can see I called it Nature Sample number 2. I like to recycle a lot of this, the leads, the presets, because I can always go back to them and switch them up if it's something that I can see myself utilizing in future tracks. So pretty simple so far, as you guys can see, but those are things that I kind of liked in this song that I wanted to do in other songs because I really liked it. Of course, we have the piano and all that, but what I want you guys to keep in mind that a lot of my influences do come from Nora En Pure, Bonobo and stuff, but it doesn't sound like them at all. And that's just because, again, I am kind of taking like the Nora En Pure kind of piano vibes and arrangement, but I am putting more of a Bonobo kind of atmosphere to it and utilizing stuff I like from them without fully essentially copying them all outright. So that this is going to be one of the songs. I'll show you guys one more so you can see how these influences have just moved on, these creative decisions move on from song to song that I have. All right, guys, so here's another song, and I'll use this one as an example. This is Beautiful Nature Shit number 5, and you guys can check it out. We'll fast forward it. Okay, so again, you know, with this one, we got something that just got repeated from the last song, which is the lead. So again, it's triangle bass. It's just processed a little bit differently and has a different vibe to it. The other thing, of course, is what I like to call the tribal vocal, which I don't think it's tribal. It's just some guy saying move it or muévelo in Spanish. But again, you know, I like that so much that I just like to use it in my songs. The next thing we have here is effects, again, that deal with nature. So we do have this cricket and rain effect, which I use sort of as an uplifter. In the last song, I didn't show the drums, but the drums were definitely inspired by more of the Foley stuff. So in this one, you can kind of see my creative desires went more for utilizing drums that sound natureful. It's like we got, I think it's 3, and a reverse to it. Again, some people might not like it, I know, and some people might. Again, that's the beauty of music. It's very subjective. So seeing these things, you kind of go like, okay, I kind of have this, and some people like it, some people don't. That's the thing with music. Not everyone's always going to like your music, but the important thing is that at least some people like it and enjoy it. And as long as you're enjoying it, I guarantee you there's other people out there that will also enjoy the song. Same thing goes with like the kick, even though I think it might be a bit weird to some people. It's kind of like a kick, a normal kick, but again, I decided to layer it with some intense lead to kind of very mellow pianos, of course. That's kind of like the vibe I like. Those kind of pianos that just makes you go like. But this is just an example, guys. See, as I make the music that I want to make, that I enjoy making, the influences from other producers, of course. I think this one, the piano's like this due to a song called Chiasmos Looped, which I really enjoyed. But again, it shouldn't let you shouldn't go all the way to like copy them fully, but at least get inspired by them. Let's say you like the sound of their piano and you want something that sounds similar, good, but don't try and use similar chord progressions utilizing similar music theory that they are. Make what you like, make the chord progressions that you like, and from there the sound will come. You will not find it, it will find you. You will start to notice that, oh wow, I do use this a lot. Why don't I save that and utilize it in future songs? And that's something that, again, as the more you make music, the more you're gonna kind of recognize in your tracks. All right, guys, and that is gonna be the end of the video. I hope that this video resonates with some of you guys. Again, make sure to leave a comment down below on the fact, have you found your own sound? How did you go about it? What is your sound? That is another great question. You know, I've always been meaning to ask people that have their own sound. Let me know in the comments down below, guys. And as always, if you want to support my channel, you can do it at evosounds.com. I have a bunch of sound sets for you guys, imitating your favorite producers, but of course also bringing in some fresh vibes in there for you guys to utilize to find your own sound. As always, take care, guys. My name is Sen, and I'll catch you guys next time for another video.